the staff well-being slot for the workshop. Thank you so much for joining me. It's good to be back with you again this year. After a crazy 11 months, I do hope that you're starting to find your COVID pace. There's no doubt that a world pandemic is a marathon and it cannot be run at sprint speed. So much happened in 2020, and it's hard to believe that 2021 is already in full swing. It has been a strange start to the year, and I think for many of us, we quietly hoped that when the 1st of January hit, things would go back to normal. But we know that that didn't happen, it's not possible, and we really do need to find a new way of navigating life. Getting through this pandemic is not going to be an overnight experience. It's going to take effort, it's going to take perseverance, it's going to take resilience, it's going to take hope. And it's absolutely vital, essential, that well-being is placed at the center of education this year. It's a priority, and it's so important that we take time to reflect on ways of enhancing well-being. Hope and mental health are inextricably linked, and both of these can be strengthened by taking small daily actions that will help ourselves and those in our care to navigate these uncertain and challenging times. I'd like to suggest just 4 ways of cultivating hope during 2021. Firstly, focus on your strengths. Tapping into our natural strengths builds confidence. And so if we can discover what we do well, use those strengths, we will find ourselves feeling more confident and able to move forward more easily. If you are set on becoming a strengths-based school and trying to spot character strengths in colleagues and in learners, then there's a process that can be followed to do just this. Secondly, practice gratitude. Studies on gratitude show that practicing gratitude is effective in creating hope for the future. So try keeping a journal and recording things that you're grateful for, little and big things. And then an activity that is so valuable is to stop at the end of each day and to reflect on 3 things that you may be grateful for and why. To do this around the supper table with the family, and to take this into the classroom and encourage learners to think about what they're grateful for and why. Studies show that expressing and practicing gratitude leads to better health and emotional well-being. Thirdly, reframing negative thoughts. When feeling extremely discouraged or helpless, it may be useful to use a technique that is used in cognitive behavioral therapy. This involves looking at a situation from another perspective. It involves looking at the situation through a different lens. And this is worth a try. It may not be easy, but it certainly will build hope. So when you are feeling that this is overwhelming, nothing good can come out of a world pandemic, stop for a moment and consider some of the silver linings that may be there. Look for the meaning that has been achieved because of the difficulties that you've gone through. So let's stop for a moment and think about that. Some of the possible silver linings, I've listed a few. We are finding new ways to connect with ourselves, our families, and our loved ones. We are realizing the importance of community. We are deepening our sense of gratitude. We are appreciating that we are able to do things that seemed impossible, but somehow we found a way. We've learned the importance of good hygiene that will hopefully become a lasting habit. If you think about it, people are not getting sick as often, and that could be because we're practicing good hygiene with all the sanitizing. We've been forced to slow down a bit, take a breath, and appreciate the stillness. Perhaps we've even found ourselves spending less on consumer goods. And finally, we've been reminded about our essential humanity, our interconnectedness to one another. The coronavirus does not pay attention to borders, to passports or to politics, and we've been reminded that we're all in this together. And finally, fourthly, surround yourself with positive, optimistic and hopeful people. Studies have shown through the science of emotional contagion that if you surround yourself with positive and hopeful people, you're more likely to catch these emotions and feel more hopeful. Although we cannot control the pandemic, we can control the way that we react and respond to it. So we need to look at ways in which we can take responsibility for building our resilience, cultivating hope, and looking after our well-being. We are not denying that anxiety and stress are real, but we are saying that in this time we can look to finding the silver lining. We can look to cultivating hope through focusing on our strengths, practicing gratitude, reframing negative thoughts, and surrounding ourselves with positive, optimistic, and hopeful people. I'd like to conclude by referencing a quote by an organizational change consultant, Ron Carucci. It goes as follows. Hope isn't the alleviation of physical risk or the sidelining of anxiety. It's the choice to see beyond the current circumstances to something better, despite the presence of those feelings. It's not denying risk. It's not sidelining anxiety. It's the choice to see beyond the current circumstances to something better, despite the presence of those feelings. We can be cultivators of hope. We can build resilience in ourselves and in others. And so may the year ahead be a hope-filled one. Grace and strength to each of you as you face each day with courage. God be with you all. Thank you so much for listening.